in earnings per share at about 25 cents. It is an improvement from the corresponding period a year earlier on. Talk to us about the market conditions, because they've improved generally across the board in telecoms.
Definitely. I think generally the market conditions across the board have improved in the last 6 months. I think for us the continuity in our SA core business has been strong. And we found that the space that we play in, which is the prepaid space, there's a lot more people who are aware of it now, a lot more products that want to play in the prepaid space. So we find ourselves in an interesting place where our vision, which started in 2001, is coming to fruition.
All right, let's talk about fruition, and I'm underpinning that word. Revenue increases over 8%, but operating and gross profits down. Operating profits down to now 259 million, gross profits down to now 573 million. What happened there?
A lot of it actually is to do with IFRS, with IFRS accounting rules. So it's got a lot to do with your creditors and debtors balance. So a large portion of it is to do just from accounting principles. But probably a big portion of it comes out of Nigeria, where we've had a little bit of a setback, which I'm sure we'll touch on later. But a lot of it comes from there, where from an EBITDA level we were affected. But overall, bottom line, pretty satisfied as management.
All right, profit-generating businesses, Mark, have been subsidiaries, Datacell, Oxygen India, UCash. Now, is it a case of your being in high-yielding emerging markets with critical mass by way of population size, or is it something innovative that's happened within the company itself?
I think a combination of both. Our strategy has always been going to emerging markets, the ability of growing and expanding footprint of touch points to deliver a myriad of different products and services. So the likes of India was our first expansion. It's taken some time. We now have over 90,000 points of presence, so we've achieved great goals in a short space of time. Likes of Datacell, we've had a good turnaround of our businesses. It was primarily focused on the call center industry, which took a massive setback when the whole world had a bit of a collapse. So we spent a lot of time and attention resolving those that business. UCash is the ability to digitize cash, and as the market wants to transact better in a manner that they're accustomed to, the uptake of UCash, we've seen significant growth of over 100%.
Medium-term strategies for growth, what are you planning on doing?
Look, our growth plans are to focus on the markets that we're in. Those are Nigeria, India, South Africa and Mexico. There's a lot of opportunity in those markets. There's significant growth opportunities. So continue with our core strategy of growing our footprint and finding more innovative products and services that can be pushed down through those channels.
Are we going to see any acquisitions, or are you looking at sort of organic growth?
No, a little bit of both. Obviously, we're acquisitively hungry, but it's trying to find the right things for the right reasons, not doing the wrong things for the wrong reasons. So we're always out there looking. We're looking at complementing our core strategy, finding additional products or extension of our footprints. And then obviously growing organically. How do we grow it? How do we put more products in our existing channel?
Right things for the right reasons, not doing the wrong things. What went wrong in Nigeria? Because I think Brett was quite frank about that.
Look, we had a 10-year exclusive agreement with Multilinks. Multilinks unilaterally decided to cancel that agreement. Our board acted, or APS, African Prepaid Services Board, acted decisively and said, you know, you're not allowed to just cancel the agreement. So that's a repudiation. And then we cancelled the agreement. And now we're seeking remedies in terms of how to resolve that, going to an arbitration to determine who's wrong or right. But I believe that what we did, we stand ourselves in good stead.
Okay, beyond the technicalities of that particular issue, I'm going to be a bit of a techie now. We do know that some of the challenges with Multilinks in Nigeria was the foray into the CDMA space in Nigeria, whereas everybody else is in GSM, and you know, the market leaders there have a really significantly entrenched presence, and you've got to be competitive in that environment. How are you going to go about it now? Because apparently you do have plans in Nigeria. You do see broader potential there.
Look, we always believed that there was life before Multilinks, and there'll certainly be life beyond Multilinks. So stick to our core strategy of rolling out footprint. We've signed agreements with most of the other operators to distribute the product on their behalf, and then finding other products and services. So I think what the Multilinks thing did for us was just slow down our growth, but not impact on our strategy. So we're sticking to our guns. Our strategy is more aggressive than ever, rolling out that footprint, and I think it's going to yield some exciting opportunities in the future.
Let's talk about exciting issues around mobile money transfers, M-Pesa that's now come to South Africa. Where do you fit in?
So money transfers as a whole actually is probably the most exciting product to come into our industry since telcos. In fact, in our estimation, probably in the next 3 to 5 years, you'll see money transfers dwarf telcos in the sense of what gets transferred domestically outside of the banking environment. Where we fit in is we're the distribution arm, or one of them for M-Pesa. We're really the money in and out. So you can have all the best money transfer systems in the world or in South Africa. But the question is, where does someone put money in and where does someone take money out? That's the distribution channel of Blue Label. In South Africa alone, we have in excess of 140,000 points of presence, and we're signing up our own outlets as well as the treasury and the credit for the stores. So really looking forward to this whole money transfer play in South Africa. I think it's going to be really big.
You're quite excited and bullish about it, but the uptake, I mean, in Kenya, for instance, it is the status quo, M-Pesa and money transfers. I just get a sense, and a sense that we still need a little bit more consumer education here in South Africa.
Correct. Well, South Africa already has 15 different money transfer systems like M-Pesa. I think ultimately what will happen is you'll consolidate down to 3 or 4. Currently, they got on M-Pesa approximately about 1.2 million users already, and they transact in about 60 to 70,000 transactions on a daily basis. So definitely pick up. This is not a yearly play. This is for the next 3 or 5 years. And if it's anything like Kenya, it, I think currently makes up 4% of the entire GDP in Kenya, so it could be interesting.
Okay, we wish you well, gentlemen. Thanks so much for coming through.